I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway as we prepare for our doubleheader weekend at the 0.625 mile short track. Cup qualifying taking place right here and now. We've got the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers. They'll have their third race of the season later on today, and then tomorrow it's the sixth race of the season for the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers as they'll head out onto the racetrack here. All 42 drivers will head out onto the racetrack here for a single round one. The fastest 10 will then move on to run for the pole position in round number 2. First time this season that we've had no more than 42 drivers attempt to qualify, so not having to do the groups. Two non-charter drivers that are in the field. You might have caught a glimpse of them right there. Matthew Rodriguez in the 80 being one of them. Kyler Sustre, full-time non-charter driver in the 4 being the other. The two former winners on the season as well. And they are guaranteed that they will make the show. No more than 2 go or go home drivers attempting to qualify, and that means that we get to basically skip an entire round as well. We don't have to split into Group A and Group B in round 1. All 42 drivers will be on track at the same time, which will make things a little bit congested here as well for the drivers that are looking to lay down the top 10 fastest lap times to be able to run for the pole. As we're looking at last week's winner, Dylan Young in the Wawa Ford Mustang. Of course, picking up that victory in a chaotic finish last week at Phoenix, which definitely came down to fuel mileage and fuel strategy, not quite in the way we expected. Had about a dozen drivers run out of fuel on the final restart, but Dylan Young was able to get through it. He had enough fuel to get to the end and picked up his first victory in over 2 seasons. Jumped up 16 spots in the point stands as well, and right now he is top of the board of the 19 drivers that have taken time, and that number will continue to increase. As you can see, the track is getting quite congested here, making the drivers that got onto the racetrack early maybe to have a little bit more of an advantage because of the fact that they were able to have clean racetrack, be able to hit the braking zone they wanted to hit rather than adhere to somebody else's braking zone. Dylan Young with that victory is in a wild card position right now playoff-wise. He's 14th in the standings. Levi McIntyre that we're looking at here in the 99, he is also in a wild card position, 12th in overall points. He was one of those dozen drivers that ran out of fuel. He was in the lead when he ran out of fuel on that final restart last week at Phoenix. Subsequently dropped 7 spots and stays outside of the top 10, but has that win to fall back on should he need a wild card slot. Still very early on in the season, but it's amazing when I look at the current playoff grid who would be in if the season were to have, or the regular season would to have ended, as big slide there from Matt McIntyre, if the season were to have ended last week at Phoenix. But listen to who the top 10 drivers are right now in the standings. You've got Casey Hoyt, points leader, Rob Evans, Jesse Turner, James Qualls, Destin Bolin, Dylan Poteet, Michael Norman, Reese Banks, Cole Deaver, and Matthew Rodriguez. 2 of those drivers in the top 10 former winners. the drivers right now that would be in the wild card spots, either via a victory outside of the top 10 or via high enough in the point standings to clinch some of the remaining wild card positions, would be Levi McIntyre, Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante, Anthony McCrory, Cody Lamas, and Ryan Brommer. Kyler Sustre right now is not in a wild card position because he is 32nd in points. He needs to be in the top 30 for the win he had at Las Vegas to count towards a playoff spot. But those 16 drivers I just named off there, the top 10 in points and the 6 wild card spots. You want to know what the outlying factor of that is? 14 of the drivers I just named off were not in the playoffs last season. The only 2 that were Michael Norman and Destin Bolin. So that just shows you how the landscape of the field has completely changed. We've had some very interesting trends at the beginning of the season here, as we had the very unusual start to the season with 2 rookies going to victory lane in Casey Hoyt and Kyler Sustre, 2 non-charter drivers going to victory lane in Matthew Rodriguez and Kyler Sustre. We got back to a little bit of normality with veteran experience going to victory lane in the last 2 races, but both of them going back to victory lane for the first time in 2+ seasons, that being Levi McIntyre. Pocono, as Nathan Orman might not have given good communication to Cole Deaver. He was pitting, but I don't think he hit anything. That was a little close. But Levi McIntyre at Pocono and Dylan Young at last week's race at Phoenix, both snapping long winless streaks. Right now we're looking at James Qualls. He is in the 10th position, trying to hang on to that spot to move on to run for the pole. Matt McIntyre is top of the board right now at an 18.903. We saw him earlier slideways underneath Levi McIntyre, but I guess Luce is fastened on the edge of out of control. Right now he is about 400ths up on Dylan Young, who is second on the board, coming up that victory last week. Zach Rogers, good speed out of that Chevrolet. He's third. Daniel Voiles and Will Goss, they're Ford sitting 4th and 5th. Right now, Quentin Moore, he's in the 6th position with Michael Norman, Cody Lamas, Laura Chung, and James Qualls holding the top 10. We'll see if anybody's going to be able to better them and move their way in. Well, North Wilkesboro, a historic track, so some historic paint schemes, some throwbacks coming out this weekend. Cole Deaver reverting back to the orange Wheaties Chevrolet, of course, made famous by the man in black, the Intimidator Dale Earnhardt. See if we can find some of those other throwbacks that are out there. There's one of them. Kyle Matthews, his rendition of a Kyle Petty throwback in a way with the mellow yellow colors. We'll see this car on most of the road courses this season. There's one of them, the Morgan Shepherd throwback for Quentin Moore in the 89. Right now 6th on the board, so flashy looking car, pretty flashy under the hood of his Chevrolet. Trying to find, I know there's some others. There's one that stands out. The Davey Allison throwback on former champion Caleb Fogler. Texaco Haviland coming on here for a one-off sponsorship. I believe they're also sponsoring him at Darlington. Might be sponsoring a couple more of the historic racetracks. Jessica Shelton back there in the Mac Tonight Dodge Intrepid Project car out of S3 Motorsports. Of course, the Bill Elliott throwback on that machine. And I believe there was one other car in the field that had a throwback. Let's see if I can find it. Could have sworn there was one other one. Maybe I've gone through all of them and I'm forgetting that I've given them all. Oh, no, there it is. There's actually 2 of them. You got the Casey Atwood throwback for Joshua Osborne, and then James Qualls also, his car is a rendition of a Casey Atwood scheme. See if you can find the 70. There he is. Oh, and there was another one that I forgot. There it is, the Bobby Labonte throwback with Connor Breton in the 88. Right now, Connor's 41st on the board. Carson Gum, the slowest in the 19. But again, starting at the back of the pack may not necessarily be such a terrible thing here at North Wilkesboro, because if I can find him, Where is he at? There he is. That guy, 1 season ago, right here at North Wilkesboro, started 42nd and brought it home with the victory, Daniel Voiles. That was one of 2 victories he had on the season. It was his first career win in the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. Well, James Qualls got knocked out of the top 10. Trying to look and see who it was that jumped up into the top 10. I think it might have been Jose Mills, actually, in the 38. He moved up to 6th position, so now Laura Chung in the 77 is on the hot seat to advance into the final round of qualifying. And Mills just dropped to 7th, which means maybe Laura Chung's been knocked out. We're waiting for scoring to update, and indeed it does. Who jumped up? It was, looks like, Cole Deaver in the 3. Went up to 3rd. See if we can find him. Shouldn't be too hard to find that bright orange machine. Oh, we got a spin here on the entrance to pit road. Keith Batson, Will Goss getting together. Oh, and then Batson's going to get the pit wall there. Will Goss is 6th on the board right now. If he has to go to a backup car, that's what he would have to qualify in the next round for, if he indeed does move on. Got some good drivers right here that are not up near the top of the speed charts. Matt Haas in the 8, right now 35th. Carson Gum, as we mentioned, he is last on the board right now at a 19.3. That's a good lap time. It's just that 41 other drivers are running better. Kyler Sustre, I've seen him and that team put a lot of emphasis on qualifying. He's been up in the Fast 10 a number of weeks in the races that he started. I guess with knowing that he doesn't have to qualify his way in, he is going to be locked in to the field. They're not putting as much emphasis on qualifying setup here this week. He's 39th on the board right now. Matthew Rodriguez is 19th on the board in the 80 car. Let's try and find Cody Lamas, because he is now on the bubble spot. There he is, 10th place. Daniel Voiles, the former winner, has jumped up into the top 10, into the top 5 actually. 5th on the board. That knocked out Laura Chung. Got a wreck up here. Somebody spun around. Saw some smoke lingering. Don't know who that was. Or Chung on pit road, but I don't see smoke trailing from under her 77, so I don't know who exactly it was that had that problem up there on the exit of turn 2. Matthew Rodriguez, as we mentioned, 19th on the board. He's only made 3 starts this season, but the 3 starts that he's had have been all really good finishes. The win at Daytona, the top 5 the following week at Manassas, and the top 10 last week at Phoenix. And because of that, even though he's missed 2 starts, he's 10th in overall points. So Matt Rod's done a good job with the struggles he's had as a non-charter driver to keep himself in the conversation. If he fell outside of the top 10, would be in a wild card spot, but right now, being in the top 10 in points, he'd be locked in on that alone. First round of qualifying winding down, 2.5 minutes remain. Cody still remains in the 10th position there in the Carvana Chevrolet Camaro. 15th in overall points, Cody Lamas right now would be in possession of one of the wild card spots, but still a long season to go. Little surprised that this is one of the few races where we have only 42 drivers qualifying. I would have thought that there would have been maybe a driver or 2 from the Duracell Lights field that would have wanted to get some track time here today in preparation for their 3rd race coming up later this afternoon, but apparently that is not the case. Daniel Voiles getting passed by Cole Deaver. You saw the 26 sliding up the racetrack. That's one of the beauties of North Wilkesboro that we'll be seeing this afternoon and tomorrow. How the longer the run goes on, the more the grip goes away. Drivers will be slipping and sliding around, means a lot more passing, and that was one of the key factors into how Daniel Voiles was able to cut his way through a full field to pick up that checkered flag last year. Well, some good speed out of the 21 of Matt McIntyre. They have not really qualified all that well, has the 21 team. That's kind of translated to the hard luck they've had at the beginning of the season. Matt 35th in points. His average starting position is 26th place. And I believe that, I'd have to double check, I don't remember if he qualified into the Fast 10 at Daytona. I think he did. And I think this would be the last, or this would be the second time this season that he has advanced into the top 10 to run for the pole. Have to double check on that one. But last week, Matt McIntyre actually picked up his first top 5 on the year at Phoenix. And Dylan Young coming off that victory at Phoenix. Right now, second on the board. Kind of funny, you got the 2 in second and the 3 in third. Seems appropriate. Cody's gotten knocked out of the top 10. Someone moved in. Believe it might have been the 47 of Jesse Turner. Moves up to 8th place. And Matt McIntyre is just going to throw out the parachute. He was going to come out and run another couple of laps, but the red flag displays, so McIntyre going to lay back on that fastest lap here in round number 1. Dylan Young, Cole Deaver, Zach Rogers, Daniel Voiles, Will Goss, Jose Mills, Jesse Turner, Quentin Moore, and Michael Norman got dropped down to 10th. Looks like he will hang on for the final slot to move on to the second and final round to run for the pole position. And session is complete. So one and done as far as round number 1 is concerned. Take a look at the qualifying results here from round 1. Going to be very easy to set the starting lineup for this one because 11th place on down, that's where they're going to start for tomorrow's race. Cody Lamas, Laura Chung, James Qualls just missing out. Look at the lap times, how close they are. Michael Norman, the cut driver, 1/1000th out. Cody Lamas, a 0.25 to a 0.26. And just look at how close these lap times really are all the way down the board. A couple of ties there as well. Man, the entire field was separated by only about 3.5 tenths of a second from Matt McIntyre down to Carson Gum. So that shows you just how close the racing is going to be tomorrow. But a number of drivers going to have to work their way from the back, like Daniel Voiles did one season ago. Matthews, Haas, Dollerton, Sustre, Batson, LaPlante, Carson Gum. Track position here, you would normally think at a short track is optimal, but that was not proved to be the case one season ago, so we'll see if those drivers are able to do it. Your top 10 there that you see, those are the ones that are moving on. Pretty Ford-dominated top 10 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dodges going to be moving on to the final round. Looks like 3 Chevrolets, if I'm seeing that correctly. Actually, it might be 7 Dodges and 3 Chevrolets. Let me double count again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 Fords and 3 Chevrolets. No Toyota is going to be in the final round of qualifying. No Mazdas, no Dodges. So pretty good odds that a Ford will probably start in the pole position. But Cole Deaver, Zach Rogers, and Quentin Morgan have something to say about that. The final 5 minutes in our final round of qualifying coming up here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this commercial break. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. 5 minutes on the clock. Not a lot of time for these drivers to lay down the lap that they're hoping is going to start them from the pole position here tomorrow. As 7 Fords, 3 Chevrolets get ready to duke it out. Only one former pole sitter amongst the Fast 10 this week. That being Michael Norman, who got the pole last week at Phoenix. So he's going for back-to-back pole positions. Everybody else looking for their first pole on the year. As the fastest back in round 1, Matt McIntyre takes to the racetrack. to take advantage of the clean racetrack here to try and start from the pole position for the first time this season. Bring that average starting position up, the statistic up a bit. Zach Rogers coming out in the 6th. Very encouraging, some of the drivers that were able to put together good qualifying efforts in this one. Matt McIntyre, Zach Rogers, Jose Mills, Will Goss to an extent, Daniel Voiles really have struggled this year in the first 5 races. So good to see the speed out of those race cars here, and may translate to a victory for any one of them. Of course, we've already seen a number of drivers here get that victory, jump up a huge chunk in the point standings. Could be an opportunity like that for any one of these Fast 10 as lap times are flowing in with a little over 3 minutes remaining. Zach Rogers is top of the board. Well, he was, and now he is again. 19.260 for the 6 car. Matt McIntyre right behind him, 19.484 in second place, and somebody else just jumped to the top. Actually, no, somebody jumped to second place between Rogers and McIntyre, as Rogers 19.112. Jose Mills out onto the racetrack, trying to find the fly in the ointment. Looks like it might have been Will Goss was the one that was doing a lot of the cutting in between Rogers and McIntyre. He's third on the board right now at a 19.228. Going to get a good draft here off of fellow Ford Mustang Jesse Turner, and a 139 for Will Goss. That's going to put him about 200ths off of Zach Rogers' lap time, which is at the top of the board right now. Now Will's going to catch up to Jesse Turner. That might slow his lap time down. I like the look here for Dylan Young. Maybe be able to get a draft off both the 11 and the 47. 19.150 for Dylan Young. How about this lap? This lap might be good if he doesn't catch Jesse Turner down here into 3 and 4. As Rogers, 19.088 for the 6. Continuing to kind of throw the gauntlet down. Let's see if Dylan Young's got anything for him with a draft lap. Nope, 143 is the best he can do there in the slipstream of the 47. Daniel Voiles, the former winner, 19.399, 9th on the board right now for him, 8th on the board for Cole Deaver at a 255. Quentin Moore 7th at a 222, just ran his fastest lap, as did Jose Mills, 7th quickest at a 218. But Zach Rogers has been topped. Who got him? Will Goss, 19.077 for the NordVPN Mustang, and he just bettered that to an 18.944. If this were back in round 1, that would have had him second on the board of 42 drivers, bettering Dylan Young's lap time from round 1 by 4 1/1000ths. That is a blistering lap time for the rookie out of Young Motorsports, and I don't think that's going to be beat. About 30 seconds left. Jose Mills has now jumped up to the outside of the front row, sits second on the board, a 19.082. That's 6/1000ths better than Zach Rogers, who slips to third, and Will Goss just ran faster, 18.937. Got a nice toe off the back of last week's pole sitter Michael Norman, who right now is 4th on the board. And now drops to 5th. Dylan Young just jumped him. Dylan Young with a 19.112 to Norman's 122. Dylan might get a bit of a toe off of Will Goss here, but I think he's run out of time. I think he would need a couple more laps. That time they scored him, he was 4 1/1000ths slower than his 112. And I think session will be coming to a close here pretty shortly. Will Goss ran an 18.990 back in round 1. He bettered that by 6 100ths here in round 2. And it looks like the rookie is going to be the one to lead us to the green, as I believe scoring has ceased. And it will be an all-Ford front row. Will Goss will be leading us to the green flag tomorrow. Jose Mills, the veteran, will be to his outside. What a job by Will Goss and that 11 team. 20th in overall points. Struggled last week in the closing stages at Phoenix. Still very much in that Rookie of the Year conversation, even though it's very early on in the season. Only 5 points out to Casey Hoyt. And there is your top 10 starters for tomorrow's 6th race of the season here at North Wilkesboro. Goss and Mills, the front row. Zach Rogers and last week's winner Dylan Young going to make up row number 2. Michael Norman, Daniel Voiles, they'll be row 3 with Matt McIntyre and Cole Deaver in row 4. Jesse Turner and Quentin Moore will make up the 5th row and complete the top 10 for tomorrow's starting lineup. Should be a good one. It's the second time that North Wilkesboro has made an appearance on the schedule. Daniel Voiles, who's going to start 6th, will be the only driver going into tomorrow with the experience of visiting Victory Lane here, but by the end of the day, if Voiles isn't able to double down, somebody else will be able to experience that for the very first time. Cannot wait to see who it is. We've got a driver that'll be taking the checkered flag later on this afternoon, though, as well as it's our doubleheader here at North Wilkesboro. The Duracell Ultralight Series drivers will take the track later on today for their 3rd race of the season. Be sure to tune in for that. And then tomorrow, the Cup drivers now know where they will respectively start in preparation for the 6th race of the season here in the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. But until these upcoming races, thank you for tuning into this qualifying session. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give me a like, subscribe, part of the crew today, and we'll see you guys later on this afternoon and tomorrow as we continue on our racing from North Wilkesboro. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.